Hello everyone, I hope you're well. I'm just popping by to let you know that the die has now arrived. For those of you that didn't see my video, I'll just explain. Bear with me. So in my release on June the 27th, I bought out, let's just bring this out now. I bought out this stencil, which is SS27, which is this one. And I also bought out, which now will take me ages to find. Have I already got it out? This one. I may already have it. There we go. And I also bought out SS24, which is this stencil. Now both stencils have got the cutouts. The cutouts in here are I keep in the packaging, which is SS24. So that stencil. And then this stencil, SS23, also has its cutout as well. It's just in my packaging. Let's find that so that you can see the cutout as well. Can I pull that out? I must have that out somewhere. Oh, for goodness sake. Where's the cutout? So you've got the little bits to that, and I need the cutout to that. Which means that Tracy's put it somewhere that she shouldn't. Oh, there it is. It's mixed up with another one. So you also have the cutout. So SS23 stencil, SS24 stencil and cutout. Now when I made those stencils, I thought that some people wouldn't like cutting that out. So what I've done is I've bought out a die. And the die is DI01, and probably on the website it might be DIE01. But on the website we've got the die set. And this is what the die looks like. Now I've had the die made to coordinate with the colour of this. So my dies coordinate with this colour of this as close as we can get it in dies. So sort of in these beigey colours. So let's place that back. And your packaging will cut out this large piece here and also the inner. So it'll cut a square as well. So it will cut out a square that fits on the inside of this. Okay, so it cuts out the square that fits out on the inside. So you can also add a framed piece raised if you wish. So let's place that back here. There's always so much to go through. And then these smaller dies, it cuts out that. So it cuts out one of them, and it cuts out a smaller one. Let's find out. I've got mine on a magnetic sheet. Can't pull the damn thing off now. It cuts out one of those and even one of those. We can't cut out the very tiniest one, but those as well. And the actual square bits so that you can mount pieces on top. But that also means that those square pieces, these little square pieces, you can also use as embellishments in their own right. These, you can use them in their own right. Oh no, it has got the little tiny one as well, look. There we go. I forget because I hadn't made that ages ago, so we've got the tiny one there. But it's just that we couldn't cut the teeny square out for this one because it's so small. But you've got the squares for these two sizes. So it just means that you haven't got to cut those out. So that's your die. Let's place that back on my magnetic sheet. So that's the die, and let's just explain what I do. So what I tend to do is let's use one of the colours. Let's use Black Soot from my Distress Mini Oxide, mainly because it's still out on my table, so I'm going to use that. So we won't put the stencils away, Tracy. So we'll take SS23, the stencil, and we'll place that on here. And I'm just going to use the black I've got here. I'm just going to go around just with the Black Soot. I'm only going to do this very roughly because you don't want me to spend hours. I'm not going to cut it out because I've already cut it out, but I'm going to explain it because then I don't have to bring my die cutting machine out that's on top of the, I don't have much room. So this is what I tend to do when I'm cutting out. So let's just clean that stencil. Trust me to use black because I smear it everywhere. Let's clean that stencil. Let's grab some kitchen roll. Now, I don't sell the magnetic sheets. I just got my magnetic sheet from Amazon. I think there was so many in a pack because I won't be bringing many dies out. It's just when I deem that they are necessary. So what I do then is I cut out, which one was it that I cut out the corresponding piece from card. So let me just see which, there we go. I cut that one's a bit unstraight. So I cut the corresponding piece out of card, and then I've got that as a template. And then what I do is on my die, I've put a black dot. I don't know whether you can see that. I put a black dot, and I've used that with a permanent marker with a Sharpie pen. Let's just place this back. And then I know that the die is that way up. And what I do is I then place this inside the, place it the right way, Tracy. What am I like? You can tell I don't do that much die cutting. Drip. So I know it's that way up. And then you can place it inside your piece. And what you notice is it sort of locks in place. And there we go. It sort of locks in place. And what I'd recommend is that you always use a piece of low tack tape just so that that doesn't move. So just use a piece of low tack tape so that doesn't move, but it's locked in place, or should be. Yes, you can faff as much as I do. But you want it so that that locks in place. That's better. And then you run that through your die cutting machine. And then it lines up beautifully. Now, I made it so that there wasn't a white edge. So it cuts out right to the line with no white edge. So I keep these as templates, and then I can cut that out because that's locked in place now. And then I can just cut that out and it works like this. And then exactly the same for your other pieces. So that's just what I do. And then I just keep sort of my templates. So I've got a template for that size one, and I haven't done one yet for the smaller one, but then I do exactly the same with these. I've got little templates that I can then use. And you can also, where's my black pen? So if I take a black pen, and this is my template, just put a little arrow on. Just makes everything a lot easier for you. So you know which way everything goes. So I now know that my piece of card goes that way. I now know that my die is that way. And then obviously you can either cut out the square from this so that you end up with an aperture. I obviously can't put my dies the right way, but you can either cut out an aperture from that, like so, or you can cut that out separately and place the piece on the top. So you've got all those pieces. So the die, let's place that the right way. So the die has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've put that inside there, you really shouldn't, but it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pieces. Is that right? Let's bring in the die. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pieces. And those coordinate with SS23 and SS24. So that will be on the website and available as soon as this video goes live. As soon as this video is live, the dies are actually here and they've arrived. So I'll keep this then, because then I've got templates if I need to explain this again. So I'll keep that in one of my A5 wallets. Obviously you can keep several in an A5 wallet, not just one. You can keep several in there. And then I keep my magnetic sheet inside, sorry, just not the camera. I keep my magnetic sheet inside here as well. And then I can keep them all tidy with my templates and everything else. I just think it keeps everything, I have to keep everything nice and neat, because then I don't lose bits and pieces. Like I've done there, I've instantly left that out. And obviously when you're demoing like me, it's important that you keep these pieces safe, because then I don't have to repeat myself in cutting things out. So I'll just leave that in there as well. And then if I ever need to show it again, I've got all my bits and pieces in there just to remind me. So that die is available to purchase now on the website. So love to all, and I'll see you all soon. Bye for now.